another video, and for today's video is actually going to be the 1,500 subscriber special, so hopefully you guys do enjoy. As you can see from the thumbnail, it is what if Goku and Vegeta were Gogeta and Vegito. I have done this before, but this will be a remake of that, so hopefully you guys do enjoy, and I do apologize for being not very active as of late, but hopefully you do enjoy this what if scenario. So let's begin. This what if will begin at the age of 732, when a Saiyan with elite power was born. This Saiyan is Prince Vegito. As you know, Vegeta would be born as Vegito in his timeline, so he'd have immense strength. Being born with that level of power as his base form would impress his father, King Vegeta. He was astonished by his son's incredible power, so he was pretty impressed with how his son turned out. He wasn't expecting this himself, even though he was like the king of all Saiyans. He was pretty strong to be labeled a king. So his son being way beyond anything he's ever seen shocked him. So he didn't really feel threatened when Broly was born. When Broly was there and his power level got checked, King Vegeta didn't really feel threatened. He scoffed, saying he could be an elite Saiyan warrior. My son is more powerful than him anyways. Since he is very prideful, but he let Broly slide. He wasn't gonna let Broly go away this time. He was actually gonna let Broly stay on planet Vegeta. Because he didn't feel threatened by Broly's, power level at the time. Since Broly's still a kid, he doesn't have none of his legendary Super Saiyan abilities. They don't know he's a legendary Super Saiyan just yet. But we move from this. Well, he did let Broly stay, but that can't be said for Goku, as until the age of 736, another Saiyan child with immense strength and power was born. This child was known as Kakarot to the Saiyans, but to us we know him as Son Goku, as Goku was born from low class parents. His parents were low class Saiyans, Bardock and Dino, and they weren't really all that special, since they were known or classified as low class Saiyans. So as soon as Goku was born, and they basically had his power level checked, they removed him from where he was, getting kept in the capsule, since they had capsules to keep their Saiyan children at, so that they can monitor them and all that. Yeah, they switched him up from the low class area to the elite class, or the royal chambers, where Vegeta used to be at. And once King Vegeta caught whiff of another Saiyan child being born with power close to that of his son's, he felt immediately threatened, thinking his son's reign might, be stolen, or like the royal family could be torn apart from this. He thought that this child, Kakarot, might, cause a few changes around things. He might cause a few changes that would ultimately impact planet Vegeta. So, him thinking Goku would be a total threat, he decided to banish Goku. Banish him from this planet, as, Bardock hearing this would be like, what? My son getting banished? For what? As he'd literally barge into the royal palace where King Vegeta would be at, as, the same guards that were there would try to apprehend Bardock. But Bardock, since he's been in more of the fields, he would kind of outsmart them a little bit with his battle tactics, but would ultimately get apprehended as he would be slammed to the ground as Saiyan guards would point their weapons and stuff at Bardock. As Bardock would look up saying, why, King Vegeta, why would you do this to my son? As King Vegeta would say, well, he could be a threat to this planet. And I can't have threats like that staying here for too long. So I'll be sending him to another planet. I've already chosen the coordinates for this planet. This planet is pretty far away. Well, this is not what King Vegeta is saying, but, the planet that King Vegeta would be sending Goku at would be the same planet that, Broly was found at in the Broly movie, Vampa. As King Vegeta would explain that this planet had basically zero to no life. Actually, it did have a few life forms that were pretty strong, and Goku would surely not survive that, as Bardock, would fear the worst for his son. So him being enraged and him being like enraged that his son's about to get like sent off to another planet, and him not knowing why, for what exact reason, he gets a power boost. He gets a rage boost basically as Bardock powers up as his ki spikes up, as he manages to overpower the Elite Saiyans for just a while, so he can escape from the royal palace, basically flying off. As he would fly off to where he'd see a Saiyan trying to place his son within a space pod, as the Saiyan child Kakarot, or as we know him as Goku, was crying. As he was crying, as the Saiyan basically puts him in a space pod and basically tries to send him off. Before he could do that, Bardock would fly in out of nowhere and basically knock him out, punching him square in his face and sending a ki blast towards the Saiyan, basically ending the Saiyan. As Bardock, he knew he didn't have enough time or have much time left, so he would basically decide to so he'd basically decide to press some random buttons on the ship, or those buttons would kind of change the coordinates a bit and would send Goku off to not planet Earth. If you're expecting Goku to go to planet Earth this time around, no, Goku will not be going to planet Earth. As Bardock would send Goku to another planet, not Vampa and not Earth, but Goku would be sent to a planet known as Yardrat. You're probably wondering why I chose Yardrat. For some strange reason, I just thought Yardrat would be a perfect place for this what if. It's just a gut feeling, I think. But anyways, we move from this. As Goku would be sent to planet Yardrat, as Bardock would get caught by the Elite Saiyans and be imprisoned. As a few days later, since Bardock didn't really catch news of Frieza being or going to attack the planet Vegeta, since he's been imprisoned, he won't be able to warn anyone or do anything about it. So he'd be in prison and stuff like that, while everyone else on the same planet was trying to fight Frieza's army off, and ultimately they'd get ended. And if you're wondering about Broly, if he's gonna be doing anything, Broly would actually be how to put this? Broly would be a young kid at this time. Now, I'd say, yeah, he'd be a young kid at this time now. So he'd be doing missions out with Vegeta. Let's just say he, Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta were in a squad together. As, yeah, yeah. Broly would be with Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa doing whatever mission they were doing. As, yeah, so Broly would actually still be alive. So we move from this. Anyways, we move from this. So, yeah. Frieza ended up destroying Planet Vegeta like he did in canon. And, yeah. He ended up destroying that planet. So we now move from this. We move a little past. As now we move to when Goku's ship was basically flying through space. As it lands on planet Yardrat. As Goku's space pod would literally open, a Saiyan child, or a baby still I'd say he's a year old, so yeah, he's still considered a baby. So yeah, Goku, a small little infant, in a space pod would be crying, as those people from Yardrat would basically come see this ship, thinking that it was an enemy and getting ready to fight. But as they approached this space pod, it ended up being just the same child. As the leader of these people would basically come take Goku in and would introduce him. Oh, well, since he's the leader, he would just basically take Goku in and decide to care for this child, raising him. And actually, yeah, he decided to raise him. Raise Goku to be one of them. Yeah, basically raise Goku to be one of them till he was about the age of, let's say, 12. Well, this is when Goku's about 12 years old. So he's been training with these people from Yardrat, learning their techniques from a young age, Goku would be a very, very skilled prodigy when it came to combat. So Goku would be like a battle genius, but when it came to whole education, he wasn't the brightest at all. But since he was taught by some Yardrat people, since I reckon they'd be pretty smart, they'd teach him a few things. So Goku would be a little educated. Apologies for the background noises. If you did hear a few background noises, I do apologize. But we move from this situation. So yeah, Goku would actually be educated a little more. So he'd be a little more book smart. Not too smart as if he was Gohan smart, but yeah, he'd be a little more educated. But Goku would, since he would be training with these people from Yardrat, he would actually learn their techniques, such as Spirit. What was that? I know he would learn instant transmission and spirit vision. I think that's what they call it. I'm not too certain on that one. But yeah, spirit vision was it? I'm not certain. But it had spirit in it, so he'd learn that technique. I did forget the name. I do apologize for that. But yeah, he'd basically learn this technique, or the techniques that they had to offer, and Goku would become pretty powerful. Since he's on another planet and not on Earth, Earth would be basically having their normal Dragon Ball sequence, as Dragon Ball would start with them. They'd do everything they did in Dragon Ball, but since no one was there to stop Piccolo, since Kami wasn't strong enough to stop Piccolo, Earth is kind of in a bit of shambles. So Goku isn't going to be able to stop any of that, so Earth is kind of a lost cause for now. But we move from this. As now, Goku continues his training, becoming stronger and stronger. As soon enough, when Goku was about the age of 15, I'd say, they'd send him off. As Goku, well, he didn't know anything about this, so he would be pretty upset, saying, Why? Why do I have to go? I want to stay here with you guys. As the people from Yardrat would explain to him that, they'd like him to stay, but he needs to go out and explore the world. He needs to see it for himself, basically. So, yeah, Goku would get convinced to move, but it was a pretty sad way to, part ways with people he knew for most of his life. So Goku would basically go and fly off into space. And mind you, he's using the same ship he used when he came to this planet, but the people from Yardrat basically repaired his ship. So yeah. And if you're wondering how strong Goku is, Goku would have, Gogeta level strength, so he would be pretty powerful. And since he's been training most of his life with Yardrat, with people from Yardrat learning their techniques and all of that, he'd grow a lot more powerful. So yeah, as Vegeta, on the other hand, Vegeta would be, constantly training and destroying planets and stuff like that. He never really had a challenge except for Broly, since Broly was the only person who could ever challenge him and put up a pretty good fight. Broly, since his combat power or power level rises in the midst of battle, he'd put up somewhat of a challenge against Vegeta. But in the end, Vegeta would always win. But this would also, in the other hand, give Broly extra strength. Like, he'd get Zenkai boost, since, Vegeta would honestly beat on Broly. He would beat him till he was, honestly unable to move anymore. And then when Broly came back, after getting healed from their healing chambers, right, he would come back stronger since he has a Zenkai boost. So Broly, on the other hand, would be getting stronger and stronger. And Vegeta, he would get experience and strength from this as well. And he would realize Broly's pretty powerful. And if Broly's buttons were ever pushed far enough, he might become a threat. So Vegeta is very mindful of that. And is a lot more cunning, but a little more arrogant than he would be, since he's pretty overpowered. And if you're wondering if he's serving Frieza, no. He's not serving Frieza, actually. I don't think he would be. For the first few years of his life, he would most definitely, because he didn't know what story to believe. But when he grew up a little more, when he's 15 or so, let's say, this is earlier before Goku was 15, since he's technically 4 years younger than Vegeta. So yeah, this is earlier. So Vegeta, on the other hand, when he grew about 15, he kind of started to put the puzzle pieces together and figure out that Frieza was actually the bad guy and, basically destroyed his planet. I'm pretty sure he knew that already, but he's just suspicious. So, yeah, he basically, once he found out, he mopped the floor with Frieza's army. He defeated every single opponent there. And Broly, Nappa, and Raditz would also do so as well, causing a bit of havoc. And basically, they ended up destroying Frieza's army and ruling over it. Meaning, Vegeta would actually rule or take over Frieza's army, and then some. So King Cold would hear news of this, hearing his son get defeated. So he would honestly be very cautious in this. Like, he doesn't know who defeated his son, since it's kind of crazy. His son is pretty powerful, so he doesn't know who could have defeated him. But when the soldiers informed him that it was a Saiyan, he didn't know what to say. He was confused, wondering, it's a Saiyan, but my son destroyed the planet. How could a Saiyan have defeated my son? He thought carefully, thinking, impossible. The legendary Super Saiyan. Could it be the legend of the Super Saiyan? Could it be a Super Saiyan that defeated my son? As he began to become more and more curious about who defeated his son, so he decided to plan a way to basically try and take down whoever defeated his son. And he would basically plan this out and try his best, as he basically sent in his whole army to try and defeat or invade the Frieza's planet. It was Frieza's planet, but now it's actually Vegeta's planet. So he renamed it Planet Sadala. And why I say that is I think it'd be fitting for a new Saiyan planet, and it was a Saiyan planet for Universe 6, so I think it's pretty fitting. I don't think it's too bad of a name, but anyways, we move from this. As, Vegeta's army would basically intercept Cold's army, and Cold and Vegeta would basically get into it. As Cold's army was smaller than not Frieza's, but Vegeta's army. And Vegeta's army would most definitely start taking over the battle and start to take the advantage. As Vegeta's commanders, he'd call them commanders, Nappa, Broly, and Raditz. Raditz being the lowest ranking commander, Broly being the highest, and Nappa being the second highest commander. Since they'd be also out in the battlefield commanding their area or commanding their own mini armies that they banded together. As Broly leading his first division would basically start to take over a bit of Colt's army and basically apprehends them, while Nappa basically takes or handles the Ginyu Force with his army, and Raditz would handle the other. Raditz would handle the others that Broly wasn't able to handle, or well, not that Broly couldn't handle them, that Broly wasn't able to cover. So yeah, they basically took out their whole army instantly, while Vegeta basically stayed on his ship, waiting for King Cold to come out. As King Cold would show himself, as Vegeta would exit his ship, flying out. And if you're wondering if this is in space, yes, it is in space. And you're probably wondering if that Vegeta actually can't fight in space, because Saiyans can't breathe in space. But this is not from like outer space, like they're out so far that they can't breathe. This is pretty close to the planet, I'd say. Just like the Goku and Beerus fight. Goku's out in outer space and fighting Beerus. So yeah, it'd be about there. So yeah, he can actually breathe. So anyways, we move from this. As Vegeta would come out of his spaceship, or his spaceship, basically starts clapping, saying, that was pretty amusing. Well done, my commanders. As he looks towards Cold, saying, so, King Cold, or should I say former King Cold, you were a terror of the universe at one point. Then you left that title with your son, as he ruled the universe, while you laid back and did nothing. But guess what? I am now the ruler of the universe, and you can't stop me. As King Cold would say, such arrogance. I shall not have this. I shall take back my son's army and take you out along with it. Or take back my son's army and finish you so I can get revenge for my son. Or King Cold. I don't think King Cold would really care about his son like that. Yeah, I don't think King Cold would care about his son like that. I take back that line. King Cold would basically say, I shall take back my army and rebuild the Cold Empire from the ground up, and I shall start by severing your head. As King Cold would basically fly over as fast as he could, trying to attack Vegeta, as Vegeta would laugh, saying, Fool, you don't stand a chance against me. As, he starts clashing with King Cold, as King Cold would start throwing a barrage of attacks and Ki Blasts at Vegeta, as Vegeta would basically be, arms crossed, dodging and using only his feet to block these attacks, as Vegeta would start yawning, saying, well, is this all you got? As King Cold would honestly feel enraged as he throws more and more attacks, as Vegeta would literally, from his back pocket, would reach in and grab a book and start reading it, while King Cold was throwing, what would be known as deadly attacks to others. To him, would be known as just an annoying fly. Vegeta was basically just reading a book, dodging and just using his legs to block any attacks that came across his way, as he started yawning and sighing over and over, saying, Come on, King Cold, make this fight a little more interesting, will ya? As King Cold would get embarrassed out there, as he'd get more and more enraged, as he would say, Fine, I had enough. I shall finish you with this ultimate attack. As he'd basically create like a Nova, like a sun with his hands, like the attack that Frieza used to destroy Planet Vegeta. Yeah, he basically used that insane attack. And he would say, Take this. Nova. Chrono. I don't know. I just came up with that name. But yeah. He'd basically yell that Nova Chrono, as it was like a sun attack that would destroy planets instantly. So yeah, he'd basically throw that attack at Vegeta, as Vegeta would put his book away, saying, I've had enough of this nonsense. As he'd basically create a keyblade from his hand and extend it towards, the attack that King Cold deemed his ultimate attack, and basically cut it up into small pieces as the attack would explode, as King Cold would be in utter shock and disbelief as he looks towards Vegeta, saying, Impossible! That attack could destroy planets! How are you able to? As Vegeta would basically teleport, like he'd look like he'd teleported right in front of Cold, as he was that fast, as he would say, that attack was nothing compared to that attack you made was pretty pathetic. You called yourselves the ruler of the universe, huh? Well, I'm gonna teach you a lesson and show you what the real ruler of the universe can actually do. As he'd start pummeling, and I mean pummeling Cold, beating him senseless, punching him, kicking him, using Ki Blast, as Cold was absolutely getting ragdolled. It was basically like what happened to future Gohan when he was up against Android 17 and 18. He'd get beat on like that, but instead of it being a 2v1, Vegeta was 1v1ing Cold, but Vegeta was basically 2v1ing him without. Well, basically, it was basically a 2v1 at this point, since Vegeta, he was pummeling him so hard, Cold thought two people were fighting him at the same time. Honestly, Cold was getting ragdolled out there. And, what's left of his army, or the army that, what's left of his army that was still trying to fight against Vegeta's army, saw what's happening to their commander, or their king, and they ultimately gave up. They gave up. They saw the beating Vegeta gave King Cold, and they didn't want any of Vegeta's smoke. They didn't want to get smoked by Vegeta, so they didn't. They tried to escape, but Vegeta's commanders was there, and they apprehended them pretty quickly. So Vegeta, after he was done pummeling Cold, he threw him up into the air and finally said, "I've had enough of you. Disappear." As he basically put up one of his signature moves, the Big Bang Attack. As he basically blasts that key blast at him, and basically incinerate King Cold. As King Cold would say, "I will never forget this." As he'd basically die as he starts screaming and basically got incinerated. As that's that, Vegeta destroyed Cold's army and Frieza, so he won't be dealing with none of those people. And Goku, on the other hand, we go back to Goku, as Goku would be flying through space, and basically he'd end up finding this weird planet, since he stopped by many multiple planets that were kind of in shambles, and he'd kind of try to help out here and there, as he does help them out and solve their problems. But Goku would ultimately continue flying through space, and until he'd end up in a sector of the universe where he'd find this blue planet, with a moon, um, basically revolving or rotating around it. As he'd find this planet, as he would basically land on it, as it was in a desert. So yeah, he landed in the desert area as he exits this planet, as he sees this planet was kind of a cool looking planet. As he thought, I don't know what planet this is, but it's pretty cool. As he decides to explore this planet, he'd see many cities in shambles, as monsters and many creatures would be destroying the planet. As since Kami was unable to do anything, Kami was just in hiding from, well, he was just in hiding. Actually, no, he wasn't in hiding. Kami was actually sealed by Piccolo, since he can't really kill Kami, since he's actually a part of Kami himself. So yeah, he can't actually kill him. I think that's how it works. If he dies, he dies. I think. Not. No, actually, no. That's not true. Since actually that might be true. I'm not sure. But yeah, if he dies, he dies. So yeah, let's just stick with that. So he was sealed and placed somewhere hidden, as King Piccolo would be ruling over Earth with an iron fist. Or Demon King Piccolo would be ruling over Earth with an iron fist, and basically enslaved many humans. Basically, did some pretty terrible deeds. Let's just put it at that. The only few humans that are able to even fight back was Yamcha, Tien, and also most of the Z fighters. Chi Chi would also be included in those Z fighters, as the Red Ribbon Army would kind of fold and basically serve King Piccolo. Why would they do this? For a chance of survival. They honestly didn't know what else to do. It's either they join King Piccolo or they get folded. So they didn't want to smoke with Demon King Piccolo, so they decided to basically team up. And their doctor, or their mad scientist, Dr. Gero, he'd be working on a few projects so they can actually take back Earth and take back the rule, and they, the Red Ribbon Army, would rule over Earth. They're, trying to scheme behind his back. But as Goku, decides to explore this planet, he ends up saving many cities, destroying any monsters that were there with ease. As King Piccolo would hear a whiff of this, or get a whiff of this, he basically hear the news of Goku basically stopping his minions, killing his minions, and stuff like that. So, yeah, King Piccolo wasn't too pleased. So as Goku explored the planet over and over, well, he basically fly to different parts of the planet, as different parts of the planet, or the countries of Earth, were kind of in shambles because King Piccolo was doing some pretty bad things. So yeah, he basically destroy, or Goku would basically destroy most of Piccolo's minions as he'd fly around Earth to make sure, everything was alright. And yes, Goku could travel across Earth pretty quickly. Since, he's fast and has crazy stamina like that, he could do that. So he basically demolished most of King Piccolo's army, unaware that that was actually his army. As Goku would be flying over one specific city that King Piccolo was actually at. As King Piccolo would send a ki blast as like a warning shot, as Goku would see this ki blast attack and swipe it away like it was nothing. As he'd look down at that city, seeing a green Namekian. As Goku would look closer, saying, "Is that a Namekian?" As Goku would read about Namekians in a book that he's read from the people from Yardrat. He'd read about Namekians being able to have the ability to create wishing orbs that could grant anyone a single wish. So yeah, they thought, or a single wish, yeah, they could grant grant wishes, and most of those wishes would come true. So Goku would be quite intrigued and ask this Namekian, or was about to ask this Namekian something, as he would fly over saying, "Hey, my name is," as King Piccolo didn't care about none of that. He just wanted to smoke. As King Piccolo would blast an attack, or blast a ki blast or send a ki blast at Goku again, but Goku would swipe it away, saying, "Hey, that wasn't very nice." As King Piccolo would say, "You destroying my army wasn't very nice." As he would basically start trying to send kicks and punches, and basically try to square up with Goku. But big boy Goku would not budge. Goku would basically just avoid all of his attacks and basically use his pinky to block King Piccolo's attacks. As he'd start saying, "Hey, let me ask you your name. Let me ask you your name first, though." As Piccolo would say, "Fine, my name is King Piccolo, Demon King Piccolo to you." As Goku would say, "Huh? Demon King Piccolo, huh? So, do you have any Dragon Balls?" As Goku would ask straight up, but well, King Piccolo would say, "Dragon Balls, huh? So you're after the wishing orbs. Those wish orbs, I destroyed the dragon. You won't be able to make those wishes ever again. Or you won't be able to use the Dragon Balls ever again. Since, you destroyed Shenron." As Goku would be like, so I see." As, Goku would realize that this guy was a bad guy and decided to fold King Piccolo easily. He'd fold Demon King Piccolo, and Piccolo would be out of there. He'd dip. He'd try to escape, and he'd basically escape like he would, since Goku still has his naive self, or still is his naive self. So he'd fall for like a look over there trick, one of the oldest tricks in the book. He'd fall for that as Piccolo would fly out of there, as he was going to basically get Kami and basically fuse with Kami so they can become stronger. As Kami in the bottle would also be able to send some crazy power out there, not knowing what it was. As Piccolo would fly over to the location that Kami was at. As Goku, on the other hand, he'd basically use instant transmission, teleport. Uses the instant transmission to teleport to King Piccolo. As Piccolo was just about to open the bottle, Goku would grab his hand and basically sucker punch him in the face and send him flying, as he grabbed the bottle that King Piccolo dropped and basically decided to unseal it, as another Namekian would appear. That Namekian being known as Kami. As Kami would say, "Who are you?" As Goku would say, "Hi, my name is Goku." As if you're wondering how he got the name, let's just say one of the people from Yardrat, the leader, gave him that name. Alright, let's just say that. As Goku would say, "My name is Goku, and I kind of saw this planet was in shambles, so I decided to help out." As Kami wouldn't know what to say, but he looked back, seeing Piccolo in the wall, like indented in the wall. As Piccolo would say, "I won't let you humiliate me and defeat me like this." As he would basically try to go back at Goku, but Goku had enough, and he basically said, "I've had enough of you." As Goku would charge ki in his fist, Dragon Fist, basically using the Dragon Fist technique and ending King Piccolo. yeah, and Piccolo. But Piccolo, he was trying to like send out an egg. As he manages to send out the egg, but Goku would teleport and grab the egg. As Piccolo would say, "No," as King Piccolo would die. As this egg would happen to be Piccolo Jr., the Piccolo we all know from the Dragon Ball series now. So yeah, we move from this. As now Goku would start to speak with Kami, and Kami would inform him of the situation of Earth and how everything's going. So Goku would decide to help Kami out and take him back to the lookout. As Kami would find Dragon and would basically repair the dragon that was kind of broken. Since he had a dragon little figure, and he basically repaired it. And the only thing missing was the Dragon Ball. Since Piccolo destroyed the dragon, he basically hid all the Dragon Balls around Earth, hiding them in a very specific spot. So Goku would end up searching Earth and finding the Dragon Balls, as they were all hidden in a secret laboratory where Jiro was basically doing this experiments. The Dragon Balls were like an experimental thing, but since the dragon was destroyed, the Dragon Balls were no longer useful. So they were just rocks in the way. So Jiro basically just left them in the laboratory, as Goku would invade this laboratory and basically demolish the Red Ribbon Army, because this was actually where the dragons were with the Red Ribbon Army. It was a hidden laboratory that was a part of the Red Ribbon Army, I mean. But anyways, we move from this. As Goku would demolish the Red Ribbon Army with ease, and basically find the 7 Dragon Balls that were necessary to summon the dragon. As he would find them, as he would find the Dragon Balls, he would basically give them over to Kami, as, now they can actually make the wish. As Kami would basically summon the dragon, and would ask the dragon to basically restore um, Earth to how it used to be before King Piccolo did some damage. As Kami would also wish for Earth, uh, Earth's population, or the people that were killed. Actually, no, they can't do that wish because they've been dead for way more than over a year. So yeah, they can't actually wish that. But actually, no, they only had one wish anyways. So yeah, they just repaired Earth to how it used to be before King Piccolo did some damage. So yeah, now Earth's population was cut. I mean, cut from being where it used to be, from like 7-8 billion people, to being cut to about just about 1 million people, I'd say. King Piccolo just left 1 million people for his amusement. Yeah, those people were just his like amusement and entertainment, basically. So yeah, he got those people were the only people left on Earth. So those people decided to basically take up some cities. Since there's 1 million and there's tons of countries on Earth, they basically spread out, and Earth would start to kind of go back to normal a little bit. As right now, since Earth just got back from an incredibly difficult crisis, and money and all that really isn't, uh, gonna be a thing, since people are gonna try to create some new governments and all that. So yeah, they're trying to do all of this and that to basically repair Earth to how it used to be. So yeah, they're trying to do stuff like that, but Goku ended up taking the leader role and decided to take over Earth, not in an evil way, but decided to help Earth to restore it to how it used to be. So Earth would be under Goku's protection, as Goku would be known as the savior of Earth, as they basically place a statue in every city. In the middle of every city, Goku would be literally there. He'd be known as the savior of Earth. Unlike in original, they would basically give it to Mr. Satan, who was the guy who stole the credit from the Dragon Ball, from the Z Warrior. Oh my goodness, I called Z Warriors. The Z Fighters. My apologies. The Z Fighters. Satan would basically just, Mr. Satan would basically just take all the credit for the Z Fighters' hard work and effort, but this time that won't be the case. Goku would be known as the savior of Earth and would basically take over as the leading role and help Earth come back to normal, as Goku would kind of unite most not, actually most every country. He would unite every country because, he's got some insane leadership in there. Let's just say that. So Goku's now leading Earth. He's got Earth under his protection, but he did have to leave to explore other universes. But this is gonna be Goku's home base, his central base, right? So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. So hopefully you guys do enjoy, or did enjoy this first part, and comment what you think about it. And I will be continuing this, so you guys don't have to worry. I will be continuing with this, but yeah, without further ado, I'll see you on the next What If scenario. Peace.